What's up, everyone? All right, so in this episode, we're going to break down the stock today that is currently up 154%. This is it's our number one leading gainer on the day. We do have a reverse split stock that's technically up a little bit higher, but this is the number one most obvious stock today. And I locked up $10,000 of profit trading it in 30 minutes. And I said, that's twice the daily goal. I'm taking the profit off the table and I'm walking away. That's it. Now, of course, it turns out that today's the day where the stock continues higher. So I feel like I left some profit on the table today, but on the other hand, I'm walking away with profit in my pocket. Now, one thing that I think is really interesting is that we could call this an opportunity cost. The loss here of potential profit was the result of mistakes I made last week. And the reason is last week, I overstayed my welcome several days. I overtraded, and as a result of overtrading, I gave back profit. And I got myself to a point where I was feeling really frustrated. So if we back this out here, I'll show you just the last week. And those of you who have been watching the recaps will probably recall, but we'll go here to, let's see, calendar. We're going to pull up September, and you'll see that last Thursday, I ended up having what was a nice $5,000 green day, went red, miraculously got back to green, already overtrading. And then in the close, boom, I went red on the day from daily goal to max loss. And that began a little bit of a spiral that continued into the next day. So I lost Thursday and Friday. And to be honest, if we look at Wednesday last week, I was up 15 grand before giving back 2/3 of my profit. So last week was really sloppy. I had a number of days that I was in great shape and I totally screwed it up. So yesterday, I said, I'm going to get in, I'm going to get green, I'm going to walk away. My only goal is to have a green day and to keep myself risk in check, right? And I ended up having a nice day yesterday, $3,750. Well, I guess that combines the small account with the big account, but that's fine. So then today I said, same thing. I've just got to build the cushion. And guess what? I didn't take my first trade until 8:30 a.m. I sat down at 6:45, but there was nothing moving. 7 a.m., there was no news. 7:30, nothing. 8 a.m., nothing. And I was starting to think that this might be a no trade day. And then all of a sudden, bottom of the hour, 8:30, boom, BNZI hits the scans. When it hit my scanners, I knew immediately this was something to pay attention to. Why? We traded the stock last week when it went from $3 to $9. So I already knew this was a stock that was worth watching, and I assumed there was news on it. So as soon as it popped up, I'm pulling up my order entry window, and I took my first entry, boom, in at 541 for the break of 550. I add at 550, it squeezes up to 575. I take my profit, and with 5,000 shares, I locked up $1,100 of profit in that first 30 seconds. Boom, I'm in the green, I've got a cushion. So that was right here that I got in. Anticipating the break through the $0.50, stop was 20 cents lower, so about 20 cents a risk, got about 25 cents a profit. Then I got back in for the breakthrough 75. We got to squeeze up to 6. Micro pullback, adding there, 620, 640, 650 up here. Little pullback, squeezing up to 675. Consolidates right around here. And in this area, this is where I was looking to do a trade in the small account. Ends up pushing all the way up to 7. Little pullback here, goes a little higher. I did a dip right down here. We get the break of 7, gets up to about 730. There's a seller. We pull back, dip here, bouncing back up to 7. And by this point here, I was already up $10,000 in the small account. Sorry, in the big account. My main account, $10,054. I mean, this was basically just the beginning of the move, jumping in, trading it aggressively. And so one of the things I always say is that these are the cleanest on the front side of the move before the MACD crosses over. So right there was where we had the MACD crossover. And that was, I did take one more trade for the break of this level here, but I really was very disciplined about not over trading this one. And so at the open, because last week I had this theme of either having nice trades pre-market and giving it back at the open, or pre-market being slow and then going red at the open, I said, you know what? I'm going to size down at the open. So at the open, I'm sized down. I bring my share size back down. And so, by the way, once I crossed over $1,000 of profit, I took my cap off and I allowed myself to trade up to 10,000 shares. So I was a little bit more aggressive in this early part of the move, which is absolutely the right thing. but then I put my cap back on right at 9:30. Okay, so my first trade after the open was buying the dip down here. Now I got in at about 636, 637. It drops down to 620. It almost looked like it was going to halt down. And I was like, boy, I'm glad I took small size on this because I'm down almost 30 cents a share, but it did bounce up. It ends up ripping here up to 724, halts up right here, opens, and we get a little dip and rip here. I got the little dip and rip, but that big bottoming tail. Then we get a rejection here, flushing down, halting down. So now I'm like, all right, see, this is choppy. This is way too risky. I can't take this risk. I've got to, this is not worth it for me. It ends up bouncing back up here, big sort of jackknife candle, back up, resistance to the double top, pulls back, and then it rips here into a halt. And I was like, I love it, but I don't want to take the risk on it. It's not worth it. I'm not going to take 5,000 shares of it this time of the day because I have too much risk of catching a jackknife, right? The jackknife move where it pops up and then flushes back down, which is what happened here. Pops up, flushes down. That's over $1 a share in 2 minutes. Now it bounces all the way back up to 1050 and then it flushes back down to 9. Holy smokes. And I saw some traders saying, ouch, that hurt. So they got in for that rip back through the high and then jackknife back down. Then it comes back up again. Another jackknife right here. Then it drops down and then it ends up curling. So, in hindsight, and now it's halted down. So on the one hand, it's easy to be like, man, I left some money on the table. But you know what? Last week, I seem to recall trading this type of action. And what kept happening? I kept managing to lose money on it because I kept buying essentially, at the top, looking for these extensions and then getting stopped out and then adding back and then stopped out and then adding back and stopped out. I mean, I was like a barometer for the exact opposite of what was going to happen. I was expecting continuation and we just weren't getting it. And when we were getting these dips, especially when they were close to halt levels down, I just wasn't comfortable buying them. So the level of volatility has been pretty extreme where all of a sudden it goes so low that I feel like it's dead. In fact, it looked that way right at the open. We were below VWAP here. We broke below VWAP, high volume selling. I thought it was dead. And then it rips back up. Then all the way back to below VWAP and then back up. Under VWAP, back up. Now here, you get that nice curl. And that was a better, it was nice. But how was I able to trust it? Once the stock does one jackknife, more are coming. So for me on this one, I undertraded it, but I'm walking away at my personal high of day right now. And if we look at my trades from last week, so right now I'm up $10,000 on the day, plus 3,700 on Monday yesterday. So, now we're talking about 13,000 plus on the week. This is great. It's day 2. It's Tuesday. And now I've already recouped my loss from Thursday and the flat day on Friday. So all of a sudden, just like that, I'm back in the driver's seat. I'm back at all-time highs. Did I have a little bit of a dip? I did, but I've recovered it. So I'm feeling good about that recovery here. Obviously, I'm a little frustrated that through this green stretch here, I had several days where I gave back half or more of my profit over trading. I've had 2 red days, 2 larger red days for the month of September. And then I had the day on Friday, which was green before commissions, but red after, very small day. And, then yesterday was a decent green day, but I knew that I needed 3 more like it or 2 more like it to kind of get back to the high, 3 of them total. And then today, out of nowhere, 8:30, breaking news, boom, in 30 minutes, I go from 0 on the day to up 10 grand. And just like that, my work is done. And I'm like, that's it. I'm not over trading. I'm going to leave. I'm not going to push my luck. Now, the other thing about today that's exciting is that I got another trade in the small account. So today is day 7 of my small account challenge. That account is growing. So BNZI, this is a perfect stock for that small account challenge because it is volatile, it is moving. And the nice thing with a small account is because it's a cash account, I really can't overtrade. It's, I can take multiple entries if I want, but once I have full buying power in the position, I can't add any more. And then once I sell, I can't take any more trades until the next day. So it sort of prevents me from going back in. The only thing is that on my first trade on BNZI in the small account, I didn't get any shares filled. I did something funny with clicking the buy button, so I filled none of the order. That was disappointing because it ended up working. And so as it went higher, I had to ask myself, do I buy it higher, knowing that I should have been in this, at a much better price? But I saw another setup. I was willing to take the risk, and so I got some trades there. Or I got one trade there. So we'll go over that when I do my upload for the Thinkorswim Small Account Challenge. That's going to come later today. But as I sit here right now, I'm feeling really grateful for a solid green day. And I think I also have to recognize that we're coming towards the end of the month for September. This hasn't been the big month that I was hoping it would be. Look, I had a phenomenal, if we look year to date, I had a great month in August. I had an even better month of July. So if we look at, overview, and we look at year and month, you can see this is where I'm at so far for the year, right? Over $700,000 gross profit, amazing month in February, phenomenal in July, great in August. And now September, blah. Now, if I'm going to be honest, September is on par with the other months of the year. March was my worst month, but it's on par with January, April, May, June. And this doesn't include the 10,000 from today. So boom, that's going to go up a little bit higher. And we still have 4 days left in the month, as if I am correct. We've got the rest of this week, and then we have Monday. So we still have 4 days left. So, look, it's not going to be a record breaker month. I'm not going to, I'm not going to say nothing's impossible, but unless I have two back-to-back $50,000 days, I don't think I'm going to be breaking any records this month. So most likely it's going to be, just kind of a slow month in total, but at the same time, really can't complain too much. Very grateful for the opportunity to be able to trade every single day, to be able to get in here, get in, get out, lock up some profit, and do it again tomorrow. And I think my big problem from, earlier last week was just getting sloppy. I was being sloppy. I wasn't being grateful for what I had. I was trying to, make more and more and more. And I got myself into a situation where I was over trading, giving back profit, getting emotionally activated. And that was a mistake. So look, we're going to, from time to time, go a little off track. The best thing we could do is self-correct quickly, get back on the right path, and then be back to trading calm, cool, and collected. So thank you guys for tuning in to today's episode. If you want to check out a 2-week trial at Warrior Trading, there will be a link in the description you can check out. If you want to learn more about my strategy, there's a link to a free class that I teach, which will walk you through how to find stocks to trade, where to get in, where to get out, and how to analyze your metrics. So I hope you guys check out all of that stuff. Links in the description. And I'll remind you, as always, trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so manage your risk, take it slow. And I'll see you guys for my Thinkorswim upload, which is going to come later tonight. And then I'll be live streaming back at it bright and early tomorrow morning for Warrior Pro members. Okay, see you guys in the morning.